They are so locked. They are so locked. They are so locked. I don't know how you're here, Timmy. I don't know how you're here, Kel. You guys are so locked. You guys are so locked. I am so impressed. Let's get it, dude. Let's get it. I don't know how you guys got up in here. I don't know how I got up in here. It's dark out. It's spooky hours, baby. It's still dark in the ocean. I'm in the middle of the ocean and it's still dark, dude. I'm as far east as you can get and it's still dark. And Timmy's still locked. And Kel is still locked. Let's get it. Thank you for coming through early, dude. Thank you. Much love to you. Okay, I gotta figure this out, dude. So okay, let's just nip this in the butt right now. Let's figure. Ooh, first sip of coffee. First sip of coffee was fire. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so
Want a pair of shoes and they're at the store. They're
really
really
at
at
the
the store.
store.
You just don't have it yet. It ain't like that shit don't exist. It's
It's
just
really
really
at
at
the
the store.
store.
That's how I looked at my whole life. If I want it, if I believe I can have it,
And that's my
then that's my
reality.
reality.
That's my reality. It's my reality. All right, so I'm gonna do the ultimate test here. You can see this just pulled up my TikTok and it's doing social arbitrage, essentially looking for trends before Wall Street can see them. Wall Street's gonna be 6 months, 12 months behind a lot of trends that are happening on TikTok. So I just have her scroll through and I find new trends on TikTok. She's been doing this for 2 days straight now. So I'm not the I haven't been using it the most in the world, but I have gone far enough to try to launch something locally. Okay, so my thought process is this. Okay, if this really needs local AI, you can buy a Mac Studio for 10 G's like a crackhead and just try to set it all up. Or you can be a little slower about it and say, hey, let me try those models that I would run on that 10K studio. Let me try the models I'd actually run and see if they work. Okay, so I did that yesterday. What I did is I went ahead and I set up Moondev API here, and I have GLM in the background. So we're using GLM with this process. You can see it's been running all night. It's finding signals here, found like Hasbro, Walmart because of the Birkin or the Pokemon restocks, yada yada, Tapestry, Yeti, it's finding good signals. Now, what I think this is gonna come out to be is like 100 ideas. I'll find one that's actually good. I'll dive deep in. I get a lot of people asking us, how do you sort from there? Dude, that's your job as an investor. This is just making it easier for me. You know, Chris ran up a net worth of $40 million off of this social arbitrage strategy from 20 racks. No, he works hard at it. It wasn't just given to him. No, no. So I have an agent, OpenClaw, going through and looking at all these trends on TikTok all day. Okay, all day. And then it sorts the fun ones that I have to look through them and then figure out which ones are actually good investments. That's my job. It's not gonna just be spoon fed to me. But it's gonna be way better than me sitting brain rotting for 48 hours, right? Okay. So I found something promising. And I always said, don't do this unless you find something super promising, something that prints money. Don't go buy a computer. So I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to go buy a computer. But first, let's go ahead and test those models. Let's test those models that I will use on that computer. Okay, what models are people using on their computers? If you go by a studio, you can run a few different models. You can run GLM Flash. You might be able to run Qwen Coder because it's a smaller Qwen model. And then I don't think you'll be able to run Kimi 2.5. But I tested GLM 4.7 yesterday, and I want to test it again with you because maybe I did something incorrectly. You can see she's working smoothly here. You see her pulling up TikTok, Twitter, etc. Okay. I'm going to switch it now over to GLM 4.7 and show you what happens. Okay, so this is going to take a second. I'm going to switch it over to GLM 4.7 because actually, I don't want to do GLM 4.7 yet. I'll do that at the end. I know she doesn't work well. I know I have to build out entirely new tooling sets for her. With Claude Opus, they have a set of tools that go with the AI model that make Claude Code work. And you'll see here in a second. I don't know if it's going to work with a bigger model. I hope it does. That'd be awesome. But with GLM 4.7, it's absolutely cooked. I spent all day yesterday trying to build out the tooling behind it. And I know it's only one day of work, but I'm not going to spend more than one day of work if I can just plug in my Cloud Code subscription, bro. Sorry. Once I get kicked off Cloud Code, okay, I'll put a little more time in to build the actual tooling in. But until now, Claude Code wins, dude. Anthropic, you're not catching up. You're not catching up to nobody's catching up to Anthropic. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. So what I'm gonna do is instead of using GLM, since a lot of you were here for that test yesterday, it's great for calling AI. Like GLM is a great AI model, calling it, but using it in Claude Code is absolutely cooked. Let's go ahead and try a couple different models. Let's try Qwen. And then let's also try Kimi 2 because maybe it was just not a powerful enough model. Now I'm going to start with Qwen because you can see GLM is 6 cents per million. Qwen is 7 cents per million, both super inexpensive. Input here is 30 cents per million, so a little more. Opus is like $5 per million. I tried Opus yesterday as well. And all of a sudden, boom, it works again. So I'm not like the best in the world at this. Of course not. Nobody really is. I can just tell you what I see. And I see that GLM is cooked. But let's go ahead and try this. So let's switch on over to Kimi. Let's switch on over to Kimi. Let's 10x the size. Let's go to the model here. Head on over to the model. Head on over to that model here and let's get it set up. So you have the API key already. Maybe you don't actually. All right, let's go ahead and try the Moondev AI with this Kimi 2.5. Keep the current GLM setup ready that we can switch back to. But for now, let's go ahead and set it up as Kimi 2.5, just like this. So Kimi 2.5 is 10 times better, let's say that, I guess, because it's 10 times more expensive. Is it 10 times better? I don't know. I'm not in the weeds like that. Cloud Code is GOAT. Cloud Code is GOAT, and I think you're cooked if you drop 10 racks on a computer before you have something that absolutely prints. But, these guys might have things that print. You're waiting 3 times as long as you would if you just paid for it, though. So I would rather use Open Router for now, but I'm the type of guy that would rather rent than buy. I did buy a crib cash, but I had to. They don't do loans out here. It is what it is. There's a catch to everything, dude. If you're trying to move out here, you trying to save some cash, you better throw down some cash to buy a crib, bro. Because that's the catch. Everybody asks me, what's the catch? What's the catch? What's the catch to living out there, bro? Banks don't do loans. There's a catch. That's a really good catch that nobody knows. So it's like, yeah, you want all those incentives? Okay, pay up, pay up. They ain't loaning nothing out here. Anyways, we're updating this in order to switch over to Kimi 2. Again, the Moondev AI here. Let's go here. There's some proprietary stuff behind this, but I'm going to switch the base model here to Kimi 2. You can go to moondev.com/docs. You get this free today if you're here in the Zoom. So if you get here and you're in the Zoom, you do get access to this for free. This AI. And I'm actually going to go ahead and get that set up right now because I am using my server here, but that's okay. I can use another tab. I've got my server of Claude Code right here, and I can go ahead and get you that new key here. So if you don't know, these days I have been giving away a free Moondev API key every time you log on to the Zoom, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool, pretty neat, pretty cool, pretty neat, pretty neat, pretty cool. Pretty good to see you, dude. 777 to you. Let's get it. Okay, so I'm gonna get that new key here and I'll put it in the chat right now. Can you go ahead and Deactivate the old key and reactivate the new key. Thank you. Mm. So this example here, you got to watch this example because you got to see the poop the bed part. So you can see she's doing great. She's still pulling up, doing a bunch of different tasks I have her doing. Looking at Twitter, looking for alpha on Twitter, looking for alpha on TikTok. I haven't mentioned those things, but I've been tinkering, dude. I'm just pushing this to the max. I'm pushing this to the max. I'm not listening to everybody on Twitter. I'm seeing what they're saying, sure, but let me go ahead and then just test it, B. Because I'm a data dog. I'm a data dog. Let's get it. Okay, so done. Switch to Kimmy 2.5. Okay, so we switched to Kimmy 2.5. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead here. And once I get the key, let's go here now and say, hey, hey, can you go ahead and switch the model back to Moondev AI instead of directly through Claude? Thank you. So Moondev AI is now using Kimmy 2 plus 5 years of proprietary knowledge. So we'll see. We'll see if Kimmy 2 can handle it. I guess you have to just trust my word that I spent one full day yesterday working with Claude Code and trying to set up a local model. I did it the intelligent way, which which was to just take that model that I was gonna host on my own, either built computer or Mac Studio or server in the air. I was gonna take the exact one, which was GLM 4.57 Flash, and I was going to run through Open Router before, setting up a Lambda Labs or buying a computer. Okay, I spent all day on that, and you saw what I said at the end of the day on Twitter. I said at the end of the day on Twitter, if you've used any of these local models in Claude, Open Claude, you realize how far ahead Anthropic is. It's not only because of the model. Yes, they're way ahead in the model, but it's the tools. It's like Apple, like if you want to have an Android, janky Android, that's one thing. But if you want everything to work together, the software and the hardware, yeah, that's what Anthropic is in my mind after using it for a full day, because you're going to see right here. I actually don't know. Maybe it's going to work better with Kimi 2.5. I hope so, because I think the writing's on the wall when it comes to using your Claude Code subscription. Is what it is. I don't think they're going to let us do that for that long. But maybe they will because it's not even really using that much credits. Like a lot of these systems aren't using much more credits than me coding. If I'm coding, I actually use more credits. If I were to code 24 hours, I use more AI credits coding than I do with the autonomous things I have thus far. It's crazy, huh? God damn, dude. I'm smoked again. Just keep smoking himself, bro. You reset that token key you have and just never show it again here and tell me the risk of knowing that token. Hot, dude. I just keep showing my API keys and I just keep getting toasted, bro. Okay, so that was fun. Key number one dropped. I've done that every single day using this stuff. It's insane. Token is neat now reset. All right, so let's keep pushing here. I had to reset that, obvious reasons, but let's go ahead and see what it does here. Let's see how it does. So I'm comparing OpenClaw local models to Claude. You saw I was doing great with Claude. And now let's go ahead and run it back. The token was shown in our conversation. Okay, so that's great. So what do I need to do now in order to get started? Using the 127.00 page to chat with OpenClaw using the MoonDev API. Everything is set up now. Okay, I better take this off, dude, because I'm being crazy again today. I'm showing my keys again today. Please don't liquidate me again today. Please, please, please. Malware? Smoked on what? Change it? I just showed my keys. That's all. So let's see. You're all set. Here's how to access OpenClaw. Option one, get the dashboard URL. Okay. This will give you the URL. Okay. Telegram here. So I just go here, I believe, and refresh. New session here. New session. You can see it's already shitting the bed. Let's go ahead and see if we can debug this. So I'm not able to get a response, and I think we're using the MoonDev API, and that's okay because yesterday we had this working through the MoonDev API. All we did was change the model through the backend there. What can I do to get OpenClaw to respond? Go ahead and try some debugging here and try to get her to respond, and then just walk me through that process. So this isn't what I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you like the actual running of systems with something other than Claude. And I hope this works actually, because I have not tested a more expensive model. I tested directly Anthropic, it works. I tested GLM, doesn't work. I want to test out Kimi 2.5, which is 10 times bigger than GLM. Found it. The MoonDev API is rejecting. Oh yeah, my bad. I got to give you a new API key. So that's the new API key. And I think I dropped it in the chat, but I'll drop it in the chat again. This is actually the new API key. That was my bad, gang. Okay, so encrypt your API key. Good. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I'm good on the encrypty IPTs, but thank you. Thank you. It's a good idea. I'd rather just change it. I'd rather change it. Just change it because I don't even know what this key is. It's like the Claude code key. Yeah, I got smoked because I just shared my key, but I do that once a day at least. So anybody malicious here, you could definitely just lock in each day and just wait for me to share my key. Because I will do it. I will do it. Just is what it is. It's the risk I take, but I don't care. I'm gonna run it up. If I get licked, I get licked. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nobody here is looking for my key. There's like 1 out of 100 people that care about that. Okay, run OpenClaw dashboard. Okay, OpenClaw. Okay, updated the API key. Okay, old API key was working. Now the MoonDev API key is working. Okay, new seshi, and then let me go ahead and make sure the key is in the chat because you do have free AI access right now. You have also everything in the dashboard. Okay, Cracker's here, ready to go. Let's get it. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and launch that social arbitrage dashboard really quickly and continue with the TikTok project. All right, let's see if just upgrading the model works. Now, this would take 10 Mac Studios to run Kimi 2.5, unfortunately. I hope it does work because it is, it worked decently with Haiku. I used Haiku directly yesterday just to see because it's just not you can't pay this. You're not able to pay for Opus 4.7. You won't be able to do it. You won't be able to do it. It's gonna drain you too quickly. I'm sorry. Check your browser. It's your dashboard's already open. That's not it. What do you want to do next? That's actually not the social arbitrage dashboard. Make sure to show me the social arbitrage dashboard. And for the TikTok project, I want you to start the cron job now. So I know it runs every 5 minutes, but I want to see you run it now. So here I'm using Kimi 2.5, and I think I can prove that. I think I can prove it. Let's go here to my open router here, and let's go to activity. Okay, Kimi 2.5. You can see Moondev AI trading. So I've tried multiple things. Okay, GLM Flash, Kimi 2.5. I switched it to Anthropic yesterday at one point, and holy, we are getting free AI, dude. If you're not spending every waking hour using Claude Code, you are literally burning cash. Why? Because look at this. Okay, so you see GLM is like 0.00, the credits here, 0.0041004000.00, like nothing. But then one call to Opus 4.6 is 10 cents. 10 cents, dude. If you're not using AI for every single second of your waking time, you're literally burning cash. You're literally burning cash. It's insane. We're getting such subsidized AI right now. Look at this, 9 cents, 8 cents, 9 cents. Okay, this one's cheap, but it's 1,000 tokens.
It's not we created. See, that's the gift we were given to evolve, advance, create. I create my own world.
Create my own world, dude. Opus 4.6 is great, by the way, but it burned 500 in 3 days for me. Damn, dude. You can see here, she's struggling to respond. OpenClaw was called Clawbot for a reason. That's what I'm trying to show you, dude. Like, you can go ahead and spend 10 racks if you want. Go use some janky model. Go be an Android guy. That's fine. But OpenClaw Clawbot was built for Opus. You can see this. She can't even cook. She can't even respond, gang. So I'm trying to save you 10 racks, dude. Trying to save you 10 racks by showing this. Have you tried Gemini 3? I'll try it next. I'll try it next. Because she's just sticking here. And this action doesn't happen with Claude. You can see she went ahead, she aired out the first one. She sent me the wrong dashboard. And then she's like, what are you talking about, the TikTok project? Girl, we've been doing TikTok projects. That's all we've been doing. That's all we've been doing. Okay, let's give her a stop here. You good, bro? I think Sonnet is probably good enough. I tried Haiku. I didn't try Sonnet. I think they're all good enough for this project. I think GLM is good enough for this project. But my point here is it's not about the model, it's about the tools or something. I don't know because it's like there's something different with Opus 4.6, and I think it's about the tools. Haiku is so bad, it's not usable in any professional capacity. You're right, the way the tools connect. It's about the tools connecting that. Like I'm convinced on that. So I have to make it loud and clear. If you're gonna go buy hardware, you're cooked. Make sure to go try it on Open Router first. Is all I'm trying to say. You guys are following me, and I'm here to provide alpha. That's alpha. It's so tempting to go buy hardware right now. It's so tempting. But you can see she's cooked. I'm on Kimi 2.5 right now. Let's go ahead and let's give her another try. Let's try to debug a little bit. Can you do 3 different straight to my Moondev AI questions saying, hey, can you send me a back test? One of the VWAP, one of the ADX, and one of volume liquidation, and just send me back the actual backtest code. Ask the Moondev AI for that, and then send it back. Because like these models are good, is what I'm trying to show you. They're good. They're great. Like Moondev AI, you have it's going through right now, Kimi, and it works. We'll see. We'll see. But it to me, it was working great for like a use case of, hey, I need to call AI APIs. So that's why I'm going to keep it here. I'm going to keep it free for anybody that jumps in, whatever model it's on. The proprietary part is the important part in my mind. If you are trying to like backtest, etc., and build bots, like I have all that knowledge in here, so it doesn't really matter what the model is. It's more about the RAG system. So it works fine for calling AI like that. This looks good. Yes. Go to OpenClaw. No, do this directly. I can't directly send messages through a CLI. You actually can. You can write a script to call the MoonDev AI and then just ask those questions and it will respond like OpenAI would. Then you just post here. You good, bro? That's what I said. You good? You good, dude? Let's say new session. And maybe I'm doing something entirely wrong. And it's probably that, let's be honest. But when I switch to new models, it just gives me a headache. But then I switch back to Claude and it's like, yeah, this is it. This is it. I see the vision when I'm using Claude. I just don't see the vision when I'm using something else. Maybe I'm using it incorrectly. Like maybe you should have Claude Code in this like chat part because she's the only one that actually can work with this, and then she can use other AIs to offload stuff, right? That's a good way to do it. You can get a free GPU for 30 hours a week now. Nice. Where's that at? Free GPUs. So she said she's running here. You're right. Let me call the MoonDev API directly. I got a bookmark somewhere. We'll dig it for you. Nah, don't worry about it. I don't need free GPUs, but it's cool to hear. If you do come across it though, just let me know next time. No need to spend your time looking for it. Requests are processing, waiting for the task. Request the MACD backtest. I didn't say that, but ADX, okay, volume liquidation. I didn't say MACD, but okay, that's fine, Claude. We'll see what happens here. You can see my Claude bot is cooked here. This is actually embarrassing because I got further with GLM, and this is Kimmy 2. And I must have, I'm gonna go ahead and try to debug it because I want it to at least do something. With Kimmy, I was able to get it to open the pages at least. But we'll see. I want this to work. Like I'm not just a hater, dude. I'm not just a hater of these models. I want to be able to run this from the crib. Now I'm not gonna go buy an expensive computer. I'm gonna use Vast AI or Lambda Labs. You know I'm a renter over a buyer. But um I want this to work because when they cut us off Claude Code, if they do, I want to be able to still step on the gas with open Claude. So I'm not here just trying to hate, bro. I want this to work too. So if you got ideas of how to make this work with other models, yeah, let me know, dude. Let me know. As of now, I think it's a pretty big flop with other models. Okay, here she goes. She's waking up a little bit. Waiting for tasks. Crystallizing. What's going on, Shorty? Bear, Moonstream. The Moondev API appears to be timing out or very slow. Let's see here. Yo, so it looks like the Moondev API is timing out or very slow. We're not getting responses very quickly. And make sure the AI is working. So I got my node here. One 1.5% below break even at 19% win rate. Damn. This is my bad. The Moondev API is not responding properly. The request some either timeout. Let's verify on my side because I did just switch that model over.
Yes, our slogan must be learn, baby, learn so that we can
Baby, earn. Timeout, timeout. Put you on the timeout. So basic response is 0.45 seconds. Let me check if the tool execution is causing slowness. Switch to Claude Code. Switch back to Claude Code. Switch back to Claude Code because this is not good so far, but I think it's on my side. So I'm doing some tests. And let's see if we can just get it back directly. I don't know. Like if they're letting us use this and we're not using up too many credits, I'm in the Claude Code camp still, but I want to be able to run these models through Open Router because that then means that we can go ahead and run this 24/7, 365, even if they cut us off that sub. I'm running it 24/7 though. Okay, so yo, bro, we're back. Show me the best companies that are public you found last night. Smoothly. Okay, so we see how smooth it can be. We see how smooth it can be. Okay, I need to get there. I need to get there with other models. And we will. We will. And when we do, then I'm going to go ahead and launch a vast AI because then I can have any model up there, any model connected to the Moondev AI. But I have to work on the tooling. And I spent all day working on the tooling yesterday just to come to the realization that, damn, Anthropic is really far ahead for reasons people don't actually even understand. They're like, they look at the LLM leaderboard and they're like, oh, Gemini is just as good, or GLM is just as good, or Kimi is just as good. But that doesn't take into account how the tooling works with the model. So I think this is very eye-opening. It doesn't work like that. But that's the thing is you see these leaderboards and it does work like that in most people's minds, right? It's like there's a leaderboard, this model is better, but then you start using it, and especially in like agentic things like this, you can see like, damn, these tools actually really, really matter. Do you have any Anthropic stock? I'm assuming you're accredited. I don't have Anthropic stock. Do you? My only exposure to Anthropic is Amazon, but that is great for me. I mean, obviously, I'd want Anthropic stock if I could get it, but I like Amazon more than ever. I like Amazon more than ever right now because they own 7% of Anthropic and they are about to own by like 5% of OpenAI. And they literally own everything else. So I'm just cooking over here on this side. And you can see like she can see our key insights here. I want you to send me back to look through the past 2 days and find public companies that are small, not these mega caps, big caps. Amazon is the hold of the decade. I think you might be right, but I'm so crypto native that it's just like $3.5 trillion company. F that. That's boring. But I think it's probably good to have a portion of your portfolio on something kind of boring. Boring, but just so clear. Like I don't know if it's ever gonna die. We'll see. We'll see. I just don't know how else to get access to Anthropic. That's all I want. All I want is Anthropic access because I'm so convinced as a developer, nobody is going to beat Anthropic. Yes, you might score higher, sure, but who is going to beat Anthropic when it comes to AI? I don't know. I don't know. OpenAI maybe, but Grok, nah, too not focused, not focused. The AI is sick. I like Grok, but they're not focused. Anthropic is literally doing one thing. Nah, I don't believe it. I like Grok. I like the AI. I think it's good, but for the whole focus, like they're not focused. They're not focused. They got 18 things going on. Think of like all the companies that have 18 things going on. You're not gonna be the best. Sorry. The only two people that can compete at being the best in AI right now are Anthropic and of course OpenAI, but we know OpenAI are the ops. Yeah, Anthropic is basically version 2 of OpenAI. Better, like with better morals, more integrity. You can see she's still searching here. So she's doing this with Claude. But when I get to GLM or these other models, it has a little stickiness. But we'll see. We'll get it going. We'll get it going. I don't want to spend too much time on this because it is free right now. Claude is free. Ah, I see what happened. When I switched to Kimi, it's a reasoning model. Okay, so it's showing the reasoning. Abacus AI, I don't know of them. What do they do? Abacus? May have heard of them, but are they like competing with Anthropic now? No, no. Good to see you, bro. More affordable. Yeah, Grok is great. I use it all the time. I use it all the time. But maybe it'll work in this process as well. So far, the only thing that's really working for me well here in Clawbot is Anthropic. Whoa, hold on. Why are you trying to switch models on me, shorty? Why are you trying to switch models on me, shorty? We want to use that Kimi 2.5. That's the point. AI. She's switching models on me. She's like, let me try Llama. I'm like, no, not there yet, buddy. Good post loaded. Bashing. Two geniuses, 10 very smart people. I feel this whole Anthropic versus the rest is basically our 10 very smart people, smarter than two geniuses. Yeah, I think I'm convinced that I'm not switching to any AIs. I'm just gonna pay up. I'm just gonna pay up. I'm just gonna pay up. And I'm gonna lean all the way into Anthropic. And my thesis of Anthropic is the best. There's nobody catching up with them. And I might just go fully blind to everything else. I was thinking about that yesterday. Like fucking YOLO, bro. They're like, you're the only one using this. Not only one, but you know, us developers are the ones using this. So if you have a thought about which AI is best, lean into that shit. Because there's nobody like you can listen to all the people on Twitter, like, oh, you should run this locally, yada yada. It's like, bruh, I'm actually building systems. I'm actually using this all day. All right, so let's go ahead and run that MoonDev AI test again. Let's go. I can't do that way. Let's go ahead and run that MoonDev AI test again, the three different back tests. It should be working now. And if so, then we can switch back to MoonDev AI. Gang, yo, let's switch back to the MoonDev AI. Well, not switch back yet, but go ahead and do that test of the three back tests. Actually, just do one back test to see if you can get the call back. And then if we can, then we'll switch from Claude Code to MoonDev AI for OpenClaw. Thank you. So I'm on my other computer here. This is my other computer. I'm going to pull it off before she shares some. Where can I find the API key? It's right here. Thanks for coming through. I was backtesting for NQES. Nice. There, it got the back test. You see that? So Kimmy is working now. Okay, so now let's give it a real test. I'm sorry it took so long, but it is what it is. Twitter alpha scan, looking for high alpha subjects. I just got her on a bunch of random tests here. Okay, so done. Switch back to MoonDev AI. Okay, so let's say refresh here. And then let's say new sesh. Come on, Kimmy. I got some low expectancy strategy I made. I'm looking for something with higher expectancy. I was messing around with Opus 4.6 and I couldn't find anything meaningful. Yo, stats compared to it. Any thoughts? Have you messed around with futures? I've messed around with futures, but I trade crypto. What's up? Launch the okay, so this is Kimmy. I know it took an hour to get here. So go ahead and launch the social arbitrage dashboard. And also go ahead and start the cron job for the TikTok scanning. Okay, Claude would have no problem with this. Let's go ahead and run it, Kimmy. Come on. Yo, I'm Cracker, back and ready to roll. What are we cooking on today? Come on, Crack. Come on, Crack. Let's get it, Crack. Let's go, Crack. She's a reasoning model, so she takes a little longer. Okay. Come on, baby. Let's dance. Let's dance, girl. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, Kimmy. I know you're working because you responded here. And that was after we switched. We said new. You good, Shorty? So she pitted out on me. So there's like tooling you have to build, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so she started messaging me and then she stopped. She didn't actually send the message. I saw the dot 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 and then she stopped. So it means there's some error or something. Can you kind of debug this and then send me what I need to send back to the server in order to fix this. I'm assuming it's some sort of error when it comes around tooling, because yesterday when we were using GLM, we kind of had the same thing. There was just some things she couldn't do. So it's like if you want to spend your 10 G's to go buy a fat computer and then spend 5 days trying to figure out the tooling, that's one thing. But me, I'm a data dog and I'd rather rent than buy. That's just my strategy. I like to go fast, 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 and I'll pay a little more cash, 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 because if I go faster than you, I will make more than you. That's it. That's it. And that's always been my strategy for life, dude. I said I would never buy a house until I had to. I was literally forced into buying a house. So, you can have your own business strategy, really. Models changing too often, buying is no good. I agree. I agree. Just rent a server, rent a Lambda. 2 years from now, Max stews are cooked. Max stews are cooked in 2 years from now. I literally had two in the cart, Jane. I had two Mac Studios in the cart. I'm just so happy. I'm so, so happy that I didn't end up buying it. And I feel so, so bad for the ones that did. Damn, that's not gonna work, gang. Um, I gotta do this. This is a little ghetto. My ghetto fix here. I got a note sheet here. So you can see I've been debugging all day with these local models. Time is money, gang. I spent a full day, and a full day for me is worth a lot of money in my mind. Maybe not your mind, but that's okay. Let's go do my ghetto stuff here. Let's grab all these errors or her whatever she had to say to my other AI here. You saw at the start, right? You saw at the start I was cooking at the start of this video. So every single second I'm spending on this is money. So this is like, I know I've been running through a lot of errors, but this is kind of the point. It's kind of the point. It's kind of the point I'm trying to make today of like, yeah, you can spend time or money. I'm spending money, bro. So can you update this? Can you update this in order to make the API call work from our side? So we just have to build some custom tooling in for each of the models. So if you do go buy a server, a Max Stew or whatever, you're gonna fall behind quickly because essentially you're gonna have to spend 2, 3, 4 days. I can figure this out. I know that. I know I can figure this out with GLM Flash. I know I can figure this out with Kimmy. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. And I want to see how long I've been here because I feel like I've been here for an hour now. Yeah, I've been here for like almost an hour. So you saw at the start of this and in the middle of this, Claude Code working smoothly. So you just got to ask yourself, what is your time worth? Because if you do run a local model, your time is, you have to wait 3 times as long as well for each response. So I just really, really want you to have that eye-opening moment that I had. I had a $20,000 of 2 Mac Studios in my Apple cart about to buy it because I was buying into the Twitter BS. Time is everything to me, yes. I was buying into the Twitter BS thinking you have to run all this locally, but there's so many options before that. And I think the educated way to do this is take that local model that you're going to run on whatever computer you're about to build. Take that local model and use it on Open Router. Then you'll be able to see if it's worth it to go buy that computer. If it is worth it, go do it. So far, I spent all day yesterday, literally 10 hours, trying to set up GLM. Today, I've spent an hour trying to set up Kimmy. You saw how clean this works with Claude directly, and you see how non-clean it works here. Put it on a GPU. That doesn't do anything different, though. I mean, I still have to build there's no difference of having my own GPU. I would use Vast AI or Lambda Labs rather than a Mac. Absolutely, Jane. Like the next step, if I found a model that worked really well for me, I wouldn't go buy a Mac. I would just go rent a GPU. I think that's the more educated way to do this. And I think it's gambling to go spend 10 racks or to influence other people to spend 10 racks. So I just wanted to make this very, very clear, my opinion on this. It's kind of a waste of time. If you find something that absolutely prints, if you find something that absolutely prints and you want to save some of your cost, but first you have to find something that prints, then okay, go rent a GPU. Don't build a computer because that's just going to be outdated in no time. Let's go ahead and refresh here. She said she fixed it. Hey, can you launch my social arbitrage dashboard? How do you use the Moondev API? You just gotta read the docs, or have your AI read the docs because it's all written there. I've completed the requested action. Nice, dude. Can
No, it's what's called machine learning. So you find things that are predicted. You might guess, oh, such and such should be predictive, might be predictive, and you test it out in the computer, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You test it out on long-term historical data and price data and other things. And then you add to the system this if it works, and if it doesn't, you throw it out.
okay.
So there are a lot of equations, at least not for.
Cooked, bro. Cooked. She has no sense. She launched the wrong dashboard. This is the incorrect dashboard. Go ahead and look at my dashboards and use the social arbitrage dashboard. Show me that one. She's cooked, dude. She's cooked. This is Kimmy 2. This is a 10x better model activity. Let's go see. I switched it to Kimmy 2 to see if it's the model. It's not the model, it's the tools. It's not the models, it's the tools. That's all I'm trying to say here, dude. You can spend the next week, 2 weeks trying to figure out how to build the tools that Anthropic has already built, but it's not the model, it's the tools. Because watch, if I switch back to Claude Code and I switch to Sonnet, it's going to work. If I switch to Haiku, I don't know if it'll work, but we'll see. This is the incorrect dashboard. Go ahead and look at my dashboards. She's cooked, bro. She's cooked. I got to build some mad custom tooling. So I'm actually just going to switch back. I think my point has been made here. If you're following me, you're this deep. I think you understand my opinion here. Pay for your time because your time is the most valuable asset in the world. We've all lost friends. We've all lost family members that we'll never get back. So please value your time. Don't waste your money on outdated hardware, or it will be outdated. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time because you can't get time back. 777. I'm going to switch back to GLM on this API because switch back to GLM for the Moondev. She's cooked. Look at this. Moondev API and then test to see if it works. And I know I'm not the best engineer in the world. I get that. But time is money, even for the best engineer in the world. I get, like it's just like if you're gonna spend 5 days building out tooling, you better have something that prints. Don't be a fucking tinkerer that's just being a motherfucking nerd that go buy a fucking computer just to get fucking your savings down like 20%. Like lock in, bro. It's $200 a month for Claude Code. Run that shit through here. Just use the $200 a month. They're letting us use it because we're actually not running up that many credits. Switch back to Claude Code for me. And let's go to CapCut as well because I did show my keys in that. So part 2. All right, name that. Part 2, 12,000 times. OpenClaw part 2. Okay, that's part 1. I gotta chop the end off. Okay. This is part two. And then there was some BS up in here, really. Not BS. I was just waiting. So I stopped talking for a minute. Forty-seven minutes. I mean, I spent some time on that, and I'm not spending any more time on it. OpenClaw only works with Anthropic. Don't buy a. Don't self-host, really. You saw it, dude. It only works with Anthropic. We all tried Olama. Yep, a year ago, I think. It was cool, but again, time is money, gang. And I think we all see that. So, okay, so she's Gucci. Let's see if she works from my Telegram still. Because I did make those changes. Hey, do I need to reset? I think I might need to reset that. Do I need to reset my? Oh no, she's good. Okay, so I'm back on Cloud Code. Everybody else can just spew whatever you want on Twitter. It's just not real. Trades today, 26, 200 overall win loss, 92%. Nice. Made me a Polymarket addict. Is that paper or that live? That's fire. Either way. Nice job. I'm glad you're stepping on the gas there. You know how I do it. I test everything, dude. I test everything, and then you guys get to pick which you want to go deep on, and I get to pick what I go deep on. That's live. Nice, nice. Was that on the 15-minute markets? That's all I've been doing, Polymarket and making vids. Nice. How's the AI going? Oh, it's not on the 15-minute. Wow. Nice. Yeah, you got to sack those. Those were little gotchas, huh? But damn, now I'm impressed. I'm impressed. That's not on the 15 minutes. That's on something else. Yeah, you can't do what everybody else is doing. If you're doing what everybody else is doing, you cooked. Save this before it blows up. So one thing I do have, I want to figure out. So one thing I've been noticing with our TikTok process here is how how do we make sure that these are always unique, the newest videos? You know, I watch you do your thing on the website, and I don't see it going to like new pages or scrolling down. Are you doing that without having to scroll down, or what's the process there behind this? I just want to make sure that we're actually getting the newest videos each time we do run this. God, it feels good to be back on Claude. God, it feels good to be back on Claude, dude. God, it feels good. Good catch. Let me be straight with you. When I search TikTok, I'm typically loading the search page and taking a snapshot of what's visible. TikTok's default sort is by relevance, their algorithm. So yeah, without explicitly clicking latest, you gotta do that. We gotta change it up. We gotta change it up. We gotta switch it up. We gotta keep testing. Okay, so Claude, I made a video about like testing Kimi versus GLM versus Claude when it comes to OpenClaw. And my conclusion is it's a waste of time and money in order to, if you do that, you know, I spent a full day trying to set it up, and Anthropic is going to win because of the tooling, not just because of the AI. That's my conclusion. You can see my title so far for my YouTube video. I need something that's just like a panty dropper, something that there's no chance anybody's not gonna click. So I need five of your absolute best titles. Thank you. And boys, keep your fucking panties on. Keep your panties on. They must they must have open claw. Come on, baby girl. Let's go with the internet. I'm uploading, that's why. My bad. I was on mute.
Set out at the beginning of the summer and said, this is the training plan I'm doing. I signed that contract
My
with
bad.
myself. Doing it. You know, throughout that process, you'll start talking to yourself like, man, I think I need to, maybe if we, you know.
I've been talking to myself for sure. I for sure been talking to myself for like 5 minutes. I told you all what happened. I was uploading 2 videos, so I think it took my internet down. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go get some water. And then I came back and it wasn't even sharing my screen anymore. So, and then I started talking and building some stuff, and my mic was on mute. So this is fun. I need you to make a thumbnail wide landscape, kind of like the 1 billion one you made, but instead of 1 billion, let's say open claw across the top, big. And then you want to illustrate on the left side. We want a dichotomy of like chart going down, losing money, simple, clean. And then on the right side, money going up. So it's just like based on those titles we said above, I picked the one, the truth about open claw, nobody wants to say out loud. And essentially, I want you to build a thumbnail to illustrate that, with open claw being the only word on the thumbnail, everything else nice and clean. Just saw Mike on the screen. Who is Mike? Is Mike in the chat? Mike must be in the chat. What's up, Mike? How are you, bro? Yeah, Mike's in the chat. Let's see what my OpenClaw is doing here. OBS, remote desktop. Oh, I got kicked. I got all the way kicked. How are you, Mike? Good to see you. She ever respond to that? So re-respond that. So back to that message I just said about the how are we making sure that we're getting the newest information every time we search TikTok? How are you handling that? Good to see you, bro. Everybody. You guys locked in early today. Sorry I popped up early on you. I'd say that's the only downside of me having a schedule is I can't follow it. Just can't. I don't control when I wake up. I just wake up and I can't go back to sleep. Are you kidding me? So my bad. I'll send everybody the replay just in case you missed the start or the end, yada yada. But I think that Moondev with a starting time is very tough. It's very tough. Nice thumbnail. I gotta say, I was liking Gemini's. I was liking Gemini as my thumbnail maker for a while, but I think Claude Code's got that as well. That's why I'm saying, like, how do you get exposure? How do you get exposure as an investor to Anthropic? Does anybody know besides Amazon? Because it's literally what I use every single day, all day long. It is the killer app of the generation that it's the best thing I've ever used in my life. And I know that's hype, but can you explain a better app and a better application than Claude Code that you've used? Because I can't. And I know we're in the game, but like I feel like 10 years from now, it's going to be so obvious. It's like, damn, we were using this all day. The internet. Okay, exactly, Timmy. Exactly. That's the point. I think that's a point right there. That's fucking fire. Damn, Timmy. The internet. You can buy Anthropic shares directly on secondary markets. Okay, I have actually been pitched that quite a few times. I have like 42 emails about Anthropic secondaries. I want to see, I can't really tell you guys this, but I want to see what the valuation is. I got at least 100 emails. Maybe not 100, but I'm on all those lists. Anthropic, SVV. It's a good call, dude. I should just get some secondary. Nah. See, the thing is, secondaries, I don't like secondary. I don't like secondary at all. I don't think it's a good trade. It's just like usually you're just getting dumped on by VCs. I like Amazon as better exposure because even if Anthropic it doesn't if it dies, then at least you got fucking Amazon, you know? But I wonder if there's any other way to get exposure. So right now, as an investor, how do you get exposure to Anthropic? I know you can buy secondaries, but those are kind of overpriced a lot of the times. Um, are there any companies, public companies that have access to Anthropic? I mean, Amazon does 7%, right? Fuck. I'm giving you all the answers I have. I want you to give me answers I don't have. Exposure to Anthropic. Just because if we're using it all day, buy Anthropic, short OpenAI via IG CFD. Long short trade, baby. Oh, that actually is a solid call though. I don't know what CFDs are. AGIX. It's currently the only public listed ETF with direct ownership exposure to Anthropic. AGIX established Anthropic position in 2025. Anthropic represented 4.216 of AGIX portfolio. Interesting. So Google owns some. This is where Google owns approximately 14% of Anthropic. And no way. EquityZen? EquityZen. What is the valuation that EquityZen, Forge, and Hive all have Anthropic listed at? Wait. Are you serious? Google owns more than Amazon? That's insane. I probably got to take a break, guys, because I did say I was going to get on at 9. And since people joined for $5, I got to respect that. So I think I'm going to, in a minute, I'm going to keep doing a little research here. But I'm going to take a little break and maybe go eat some breakfast and walk the dog, just so I can try to honor that time a little bit. But I just had to knock this out real quick because I've seen a lot of ideas out there saying you can use this and you can use that. I was like, damn, I think I just used the full day trying to do that. And I capitulated. But I'll probably take a little break here. So we'll do like a halftime today. Can you go ahead and run that Moondev AI to Can you go ahead and run that AI in order the Moondev AI chat just to make sure it works? Get a back test using the VWAP from it. Is your TikTok bot in GitHub? It's actually there's no code to it, Jay. But no, it's not. There's no code to it. It's just cron jobs, which is crazy. I was like, I pushed it to a GitHub and then I was like, where's the code at? So implied valuation is 335 billion. Shit. Okay, that's not bad. I know that's obscene. I know that's obscene, but Pine script strategy, automation through webhooks. I'm fucked. Nah, you're fucked because you ain't locked, bro. I've told people over and over again, if you use Pine Script, you're cooked. Don't use it. Push the Python. Then we get it, bro. Then we can step on the gas. If you're a Python, you can step on the gas. If you're a Pine Script, you're cooked. Sorry, I couldn't get that message to you earlier, bro. No way, no use of Pine Script. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know the funded account world like that. I guess they don't give you APIs. Recent data points have shown an 260 to 300 per share. So they're at 335B there, but what are they on Hyperliquid? App.hyperliquid. Because this is a very, very sketch way to get long Anthropic, in my opinion, but it's a way. Very sketch way. Because you're gonna end up using leverage and you're gonna get smoked. So open interest here. What's the cap at? 33% here. Oh yeah, you're smoked. So you can't use any leverage here. But that's good. That's good. USDH is what it's based on? Fudge. Anthropic. How do you see the cap? Like what's it valued at right now? I guess that doesn't matter too much. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much if you want to get long something. Damn, this is crazy though that it's gone up from there. Okay. So maybe like an Anthropic stink bid bot. That's not a bad idea. An Anthropic stink bid bot because you know these wick down at least 10%, 11% at least. Can't use leverage though. And the funding is extremely high. You're paying 30%. My question still is how do I evaluate this? Let's go ahead and ask Claude because I don't know anything. I don't know anything, man. I don't know anything. So they're on Hyperliquid. They launched a VNTL, Anthropic USDCH market through HIP3. I'm just curious how it's valued here. This is all the stats I can see. Open interest, 24-hour volume, mark, Oracle, open interest. If I could get the amount of tokens they have, but this is a perp. So maybe there isn't a value, you know? It's just based off how they trade. What's the books looking like? 35? 535? Okay. Compacting convo, of course. Valuation gap is insane. Compare where each market price is. One Anthropic share, institutional, Forge accredited only. So this is the last round. This is why buying secondary is fucked up. This is the actual last round, and this is what they're selling it to secondary accredited investors. Hyper liquid perp is at 535. Holy helly. Holy helly, dude. So this is looking good now. That's looking good now. Hyperliquid is pricing Anthropic at nearly 2x what Forge and Hive is. A few things jumping out. The 31K daily volume tell you all it's extremely thin. Wait, so you could run have a slight short on that, huh? No leverage, of course, because you'll get wicked, but you could have a slight short and then go, if you're accredited, you can go ahead and try to buy a secondary or something through Forge or whatever, huh? That's interesting. If that market's liquidity is shot today and we know it's Moon's fault, right? If you see this change, you know it's me. That's a clean ARB setup. You're basically delta neutral with a massive spread. The trade short Anthropic USDCH at 535. Buy Anthropic equity on Forge for 259. That's a 230 to 275 spread per share, roughly 85 to 105% premium you're capturing. When the IPO happens and both prices converge to the same number, you win on at least one leg, probably both. Why no leverage is the right call. With 31K daily volume and 10% single candle wicks, a 3x short gets liquidated on a random thin book. The risk, though, the hyperliquid perp could keep ripping higher before convergence. Real FOMO has no ceiling on a thin book. You're right. You're paying funding every 8 hours. The real edge is time horizon mismatch. The perp traders are speculating on hype. You'd be holding actual equity that settles at IPO price. Interesting. So what's Polymarket looking like? Because that's another way. Anthropic. It's just I got so convinced yesterday on Anthropic. Obviously, I use it all day long. That's the number one indicator. But then seeing that they actually can't be, you can't catch up with them. You can't. You'll never compete with Anthropic. Anthropic won. Anthropic won. They won. They won, dude. What can they? Oh my God, Jane, what are you smoking, bro? What can they do that others can't? I just explained that for an hour, dog. Jeez. Anthropic is ahead because of their tooling. Others can technically build it, yes. But by the time they build it, they're going to be on to the next thing. Yeah, I don't think anybody's catching up to Anthropic, and I'll get exposure somehow. I know I'm behind the top. I get that. Anthropic closing market cap, IPO closing market cap. Okay, this is a good one. I like this. So this market will resolve based on Anthropic's market capitalization at the closing price of its first day trading, June 30th. Okay, so no, they're not IPOing by June 30th. Okay, so that's one Anthropic trade. Let's go see if there's another one. ends in 11 month. There's a chance. I mean, Anthropic 500 billion valuation in 2026. Yes. Yes. Of course. A public valuation, public, or raises a private funding round. Yeah, that's a yes.
Let's keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all
So I'm gonna go ahead and build a new doc out, a new note sheet that's gonna be called Anthropic Exposure. And I get this is a bubbly thing to do right now. I just use it all day, so I need to think about this more because everybody in here can relate to this. Damn, I used that shit 10 years ago. I used it like every day, and now if I would have put a little money into it, I would have been a billionaire by now. My aunt taught me that a long time ago. She's like, just whatever you're using, tell me what the fuck you're using, because you're a fucking nerd, dude. I'm buying anything you're using. And I gave her Robinhood motherfucking 20 years ago. I gave her Bitcoin at 200 and she's just like always asking me questions like, what are you using? What are you doing? I'm about to go buy that. And I don't know. We're adults now, so we can run it off our own ideas. Let's go ahead and say Anthropic 500 billion valuation. It's probably a yes. I'll have to look deeper into that. Anthropic. It might not. That's a tough one though. Valuation publicly. And what's the return on that? It'd be like 16%. Okay. Anthropic. See all results. Damn, I can't believe these are so upside down. I'm not touching that Hyperliquid one. IPO closing cap. Okay, this is a good one. I like that one. I'm gonna take that one. That's the one I like. Just the market cap of the IPO. Anthropic Claude score. Anthropic acquired before 2027? No. They're running this shit to the house. They're running this shit to the house. Apple is the only company that can acquire this. I mean, Amazon, Apple, but they're not doing that. They're not doing that. They're building their own trillion-dollar, multi-trillion-dollar company here. Will Anthropic or OpenAI IPO first? Which company has the best AI model end of February? Anthropic. But that's not the way they judge it is going to be fucked up. Because technically there are better models out there, right? Or I don't know. Just I'm a dev. And if you're not a dev working on this for 4, 5, 6 hours a day, I don't want to hear shit. I don't care what Claude desktop's doing. I don't care. We're the ones building the fucking future, B. Let's get it, Ken. 777. Which company has the second best model? Which companies will be acquired before 2027? IPOs before 2027? Okay, so I'm trying to think of all of the ways to get exposure here. The risk, though. I want to look at this a little more because she said this for context. Hi, okay. Google, Alphabet, 7%. Amazon has 7%. Damn. And they have 4.2% AGIX. Let's go over these again. AGIX, do they actually own 4% of Anthropic? Or is it 4% of their market share, AGIXs? Yeah, answer that. And then Alphabet, Google, do they actually own 14% of the equity of Anthropic? Can you send me some links to that, some sources to that? And then I'm already convinced on Amazon. Damn, because Google obviously is probably not gonna die ever. So for crypto degens, nah, this is the top of stocks for sure. But if you got Moondev talking stocks, you know it's the top. So be careful. Such a top signal, bro. I was just dogging people last week. Okay, so Google's just like up only. Yeah, nah, dude. Do they actually own 15% though? Good catch. So let me clarify. AGIX, that 4.21% is Anthropic's weight. Okay. Not ownership. So if you buy 10,000 in AGIX, it's roughly 421 is Anthropic exposure. Let me find a hard source of this. Confirmed. Here's what I verified. AGIX, the portfolio weight. This is real. Confirmed equity ownership. Owns 14% in Anthropic. Court documents seen by the New York Times reveal. It was previously public knowledge that Google had pumped billions into generative AI company. Damn. For real? Court documents recently obtained by New York Times reveal Google owns 14% stake in that company and set to pour another 750M. Okay, that actually changes things for me. I don't think I like Google more than Amazon, but if you're looking for mega caps that just like look at in 40 years from now and you're gonna average in if it goes down, like you're just trying to like have a fucking 401k or some bullshit like that. Wait for the Google Anthropic merger. Do you think that will happen? So Google put in 3 billion, owns 14% of actual equity, capped at 15% max. Okay, at 350 valuation, this 40% stake is worth 50 billion on a 3 billion investment. That's a 16x return. Google is only allowed to own up to 15% max, okay? XUS, I don't know what that is. Damn, that's crazy. Let's go read this. Google has given Anthropic more funding than previously known, shows new filings. Anthropic, yada yada. Court documents recently obtained by the New York Times reveal that Google owns 14% in the company and is set to pour another 750 million into a new convertible debt deal. Damn. Wait, so previously I thought one of the cleanest public ways in order to get exposure to Anthropic was through Amazon as they own 7%. And then on top of that, you know, like they've got a good business behind it. So it's a good, you know, good little bet. That being said, now it's starting to look like Google might be the safer play if they own 15%. Can you do a full comparison there? And this is for like a portfolio that you're just not touching. This is your boomer portfolio, right? This is just like, hey, put a little bit of cash off this. So, you know, if you lose it all over the next 20 years, you'll always have your Google or Amazon that has exposure to Anthropic. I think Anthropic for me is the big play of the century as it's as big as the internet, in our opinion, as developers. So trying to get exposure to that somehow is interesting to me. But like I said, you know, Amazon I thought that was the cleanest play because of course they have other businesses that are amazing. Every package is delivered by Amazon, yada yada. They got Whole Foods, Twitch, yada yada. Okay, they got a solid business that's growing. AWS, ads, etc. But now that you bring this to light, it almost changes things because Google, of course, is not ever going to die. Google is Google. If Their biggest threat is AI. And if they own 15% of the best AI, then it doesn't matter because they also have Gemini. So yeah, go ahead and give me a short, concise breakdown of how to think about this. Interesting, dude. This is interesting. I only buy monopolies for sure. If I'm gonna buy stock, dude, stock is so fucking boring. I'm out of here, bro. I'm out of here. I'm a crypto guy. I need to own a piece of what I'm using all day. That's all. Just for like, yeah, I just have to.
There's two things. You're getting off
Die. Google owns 40% of Anthropic. Alphabet's market cap is 2.3 trillion. If Anthropic IPOs at 350 billion, Google's stake is worth. Nah, I want you to rerun this. Rerun this. Anthropic is going to be $1 trillion company, and eventually it's going to be a $5 trillion company. I want you to go ahead and give me a short, concise response here with that vision in mind. That should change things a little bit. So Google's 14% is 150 billion sitting on Anthropic's balance sheet. That's 6% of Alphabet's current market cap from a 3 billion investment, 46 return. Amazon owns about 7%, 70 billion, about 3% of Amazon's market cap. A 5 trillion Anthropic, Google 14% equals a 700 billion. That's nearly a third of God damn it, dude. Alphabet's current valuation. Just from the Anthropic stake alone at 5 trillion. Now that's a very far ways away and nobody has hit 5 trillion before, but I'm talking like 20, 30 years. This is why it changes everything. At 5 trillion, Anthropic Google's stake alone would be worth more than their entire market cap of Meta, Berkshire, or Tesla. And here's the kicker. Google is capped at 15% with no voting power, which means when Anthropic hits 5T, there will be enormous pressure to either renegotiate that cap, spin out a stake, or let market reprice Google to reflect. Google is the play. What? I am on YouTube all day. I am on YouTube all day. I want to read through her longer response before the moon math came into play. 5 trillion. Nobody's ever hit fucking 5 trillion, moon dev. Shut the fuck up. Google owns 14% of Anthropic. Alphabet's market cap is 2.3 trillion. If Anthropic IPOs at 350 billion, Google's stake is worth 49 billion. That's roughly 2.1% of Anthropic's Alphabet's total value. Amazon invested 8 billion, but came in later at higher valuations. Their stake is estimated around 7%. At 350 billion, that's 24 billion. Roughly 1.1% of Amazon's 2.3 trillion market cap. So they're both 2.3. So dollar for dollar, Google gives you nearly 2x the Anthropic exposure per share compared to Amazon. Damn. So that's interesting because I'm from Amazon. So of course I'm going to be biased Amazon. Of course I'm going to be biased Amazon, but I can't fade Googs. Googly oogly. The hedge against AI. This is what makes Google interesting for the boomer portfolio. Google's existential threat is AI replacing search. But if Anthropic wins the AI race, Google owns 40% of the winner. If Gemini wins, Google owns 100% of the winner. Google literally can't lose the AI war. They've hedged both sides. That's an incredible position for a 20-year hold. Amazon's AI hedge is different. AWS is the cloud backbone. So they win regardless of which model sits on top. That's the edge with Amazon is like, yes, they own 7% of Anthropic, but they run the biggest cloud provider. So if AI keeps popping, they go up. Ah, man, that's a kicker right there. That's a kicker for the Zonzon. Very clever, Google. Yes, very clever, isn't it? These guys are they're trillion-dollar companies for a reason, I guess. Damn, that is smart. They got some smart people working there. Okay, so Amazon's AI hedge is different. AWS is the cloud backbone. So they win regardless of which model sits on top of it. And they will have every single model sit on top of it because people are dying for exposure to these GPUs. Buy both. I think that's like, Jade, I'm kind of with you. It's for the boomer portfolio that you're just waiting until you're like 60 to look at. DeepSeek. How do you get exposure to DeepSeek? But I don't know. DeepSeek's cool. I don't use it though. And you just gotta buy what you use. Anthropic trains on AWS Trainium chips, and most AI companies run on AWS anyway. Amazon's AI exposure is infrastructure level, not model level. The core business, Amazon e-commerce, AWS, the profit engine, and that is exposure to AI, advertising, which is growing, prime logistics, which is fucking everywhere. Or sorry, e-commerce is everywhere. More diversified revenue streams, higher growth rate, but thinner margins. Google search, still 80% of the revenue. YouTube, cloud, Waymo. Ooh, self-driving. You get self-driving exposure over there on Google. Androids, insane margins on search, massive cash genie, but more concentrated. The bottom line, if your thesis is specifically Anthropic is the play of the century, Google is a cleaner bet. 2x the exposure, plus they can't lose the AI war either way. And the 14% stake is confirmed equity from court documents, not speculation. If your thesis is broader, AI infrastructure wins regardless of which model wins. Amazon is the play because the AWS collects rent from everybody. For a boomer portfolio where Anthropic conviction is your core thesis, Google is the move. You get double the Anthropic exposure, a company that literally cannot be disrupted by AI because they own both sides and the stock is trading at a lower PE. Google is the quiet play nobody is talking about for Anthropic exposure. Damn, dude. That is crazy. This is what research is, though. I came in today thinking Amazon was the play for Anthropic, and now I'm second guessing myself big time. Big time. I don't think Anthropic or Amazon is the best, the cleanest exposure anymore. I mean, she just convinced me. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. So, I mean, you kind of convinced me here, gang. You kind of convinced me that Google's a cleaner play to Anthropic than Amazon. So this whole week I've been super fucking hyped to get back on Amazon. I'm from the Amazon. I love the Northwest, dude. And Amazon makes so much sense, but let's be real, dude. I'm literally on YouTube right now. I'm literally showing everything on YouTube right now, using Claude Code all fucking day. Am I going crazy here? Because how can I be so convicted on one thing and then the next week you just changed my mind? Because, okay, Google and Amazon. I order everything off Amazon. I use Claude all day, which is 7%. Amazon owns 7%. So I'm on Twitch right now. I would shop at Whole Foods, but we don't have any here. Like Amazon's a clear play. But damn, dog. You kind of convinced me on Google. Obviously we use Google every single search. They might get cooked by AI, but if they get cooked by AI, like Anthropic's going to beat OpenAI over the long term because all the developers know don't trust OpenAI. They're gonna win. It might just take a while. The consumer, fuck the consumer app, they can have it. ChatGPT, that's fun. I use it too. But I'm not looking for exposure to OpenAI. By the way, though, does Google have any exposure to OpenAI? Because Amazon just was trying to throw 500 bill or whatever at them, and they might get some exposure. But yeah, am I going mental here? Because that's too easy. That was too easy to sway me with straight numbers. Because to me, they're both boomer companies, Google and Amazon, right? Like if I want to just buy some stuff and wake up when I'm 80 and still have it, like I want to have Google, Amazon, maybe Facebook or something, some boomer shit like that. But damn, dude, am I going crazy that you just convinced me like that? Or are you going crazy? Like, what's the facts, B? The play is going to be Grok in space. Interesting. Once I start using it,
which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Stay hungry. Stay foolish.
Stay hungry, stay foolish, dude. You're not going crazy. The numbers are the numbers. Let me hit your question. So, how do you get exposure to Anthropic is the question because Anthropic is what we use all day for Claude Code. And if you use it all day, okay, that means that I want exposure. So, going into today, I was convinced on Amazon. They own 7% of Amazon, but there's actually something better. And I thought I was going crazy. She says, you're not going crazy. The numbers are the numbers. So let me hit your questions first. Does Google have exposure to OpenAI? Zero exposure. So Amazon does, or they might eventually. Google owns 14% of Anthropic, though, and 0% of OpenAI. That's actually the cleanest part. Google bet on Anthropic specifically, not both sides of the race. Microsoft owns 27% of OpenAI. SoftBank owns 11% of OpenAI. Google has nothing to do with OpenAI. Damn, that is actually that's kind of saying a lot, bro. Google said no to OpenAI. Is the market actually confirming the thesis right now? Yes. Wall Street sentiment is shifting. OpenAI is down. Alphabet is up. The maker of ChatGPT is no longer seen as being on the cutting edge of AI technology and is facing questions about its lack of profitability. Meanwhile, Google's parent is emerging as a deep-pocketed competitor with tentacles in every part of AI. Companies in OpenAI, Orbit, Oracle, CoreWeave, AMD, and even Microsoft are coming under heavy selling pressure. Meanwhile, Alphabet momentum is boosting its stock price. Are you crazy for being swayed? Again, at the start of the day, I was like, Amazon's the way. Amazon's the way to get Anthropic exposure. They got 7%, and they're about to have 6% of OpenAI. So I was like, damn, I'm just getting swayed over here to Google. I mean, they do own YouTube. We do search Google all day, but they might get chopped by AI. And I guess they have Gemini. They could win 100%. They probably won't. But if not, they own 14% of Anthropic. So that's double Amazon. No, because the logic is airtight and you didn't know the 14% number before today. Here's why this isn't being fickle. It's you updating on new information. You already loved Amazon. That hasn't changed. AWS, e-commerce, Twitch, logistics, all still valid, but you are operating on incomplete data. You thought Amazon at 7% was the best public Anthropic exposure. Turns out Google has doubled the stake. And court documented confirmed. And the broader market is literally rotating from OpenAI linked companies into Google right now. So I'm late. The real play for your boomer portfolio, why not both? This isn't binary. Google for the Anthropic conviction, 14% stake plus Gemini hedge plus YouTube plus surge cash flows. Amazon for the infrastructure play. AWS collects rent from everyone plus 7%. Anthropic plus anything else or everything else you already love about. And this is what Jane said. She said, just buy both. Duh. Alphabet is trading at approximately a forward PE of 27. Okay, yada, yada. You're literally using YouTube to stream Claude to Code, and Google to search. And the one company that profits from all three activities and owns 14% of Anthropic is Google. The math didn't change your mind. The math was always there. You just didn't know about it, dog. You just didn't know about it. Okay, interesting. So I don't know. I don't know. That kind of throws me in a loop here. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to not have the knowledge. And I just didn't have the knowledge. Strong opinion, loosely held. That's a good call, bro. It's a good call, but I'm just looking for some Anthropic exposure. The other option is secondaries, buy the bags of VCs. That's cool. That's cool, but I would like some exposure to Anthropic here. And I think the cleanest ways are, I thought it was Amazon, but now I'm kind of seeing it's Google. But why not own both? Because at the end of the day, I like what they set up here about Google. Very, very smart. Essentially, they bought 14% of Anthropic, but they also launched Gemini. So they're trying to win the AI race through Gemini. And there's a chance they win it. I mean, if you're a developer, you know Anthropic is winning right now. But there's a chance they win it because they own 100% of Gemini. So if they win, that's going to be fucking huge. But if they lose to Anthropic, they own 14%, and they'll probably end up owning 15%. I think Anthropic's $1 trillion company at the minimum, 10, 15. I'm really like 2 years out, but 10, 15, it might even hit 2, 3. It's going to be a mega cap. I mean, it has to be. If the developers are all losing their jobs to Claude Code, it has to be one of the biggest companies we've ever seen, in my mind. So I want exposure. I want exposure. And Amazon, I thought it was the cleanest way. But Google is a really clean way as well. They own twice as much, and they own another horse in the game. Like Amazon doesn't have a horse in the race. They don't have an AI that they're launching. Maybe they do, but we don't know of it. So they have a 0% chance of winning the AI race. Google has a 2% chance of winning the AI race, but they also have a stake in Anthropic. And Anthropic is winning. I'm convinced. After using OpenClaw for 4 or 5 days, dude, I'm convinced that Anthropic, yes, they have great models, but they work well with the tooling. It's like Apple. It's like why they won. Because Apple won because their software works so well with their hardware. Is it the best? Of course not. Of course, there's better Android hardware, there's better Android software, but put together, Apple won because of that. So that's how I'm thinking of this race right now. Claude Code is what we all use. That's what we're coding with. Why? Because it works better. Okay. So you can drop a better AI and open source it, and it's on the top of the LLM leaderboards. But is it like when you're using it, is it better? No. I proved that. I tried Kimi. I tried GLM. They're cooked. They're cooked. The open source models are cooked until the tooling catches up. But by the time the tooling catches up, Anthropic's on to the next thing. So how do I get exposure? Buy secondary? Okay. I'll keep my eye out. But what I like about these two plays here is that you get exposure to mega businesses without the AI. And I see Amazon packages everywhere. You do too. You probably go to Whole Foods. Me too, if I could. But I can't. They don't have it here. It's okay. AWS, the whole internet is run on AWS. That's why I'm so hyped on Amazon. But now it's just like I'm literally on YouTube at this moment, which is owned by Google. I Google everything. I use Gemini somewhat, but I use Claude Code all day. But I think to me, now thinking through this with you, thank you for joining me on this ride. I think if this is truly a boomer portfolio, I got to do what a boomer would do and diversify. Amazon, Google to the motherfucking moon for the next 80 years. Not in the short term. Of course, this is a top signal. This is a top signal. If I'm talking about stocks, you've never seen me talk about stocks ever. So this is a clear top signal, but I'm talking like 40 years, bro. I'm talking boomer, set, forget. That's what I'm talking about. Always add to. And I'm not a financial advisor, so This is not financial advice. This is just me thinking through this with you, and everything I do, I show you here. So this is my Sunday morning, and this is what I'm looking into because I just spent an hour earlier trying it again because I spent yesterday all day trying to set up local models on my OpenClaw, and I was just like, damn, light bulb. This is literally working because Anthropic's tooling is better than everybody else's. You can't just run a local model and think you're going to have as good of an OpenClaw experience as Anthropic. So I woke up this morning and I tried it again with a better model, Kimi 2, and said GLM. Okay. And it's just confirmed. Nobody's catching up to Anthropic. I'm sorry. They're not catching up. They're not catching up. They'll never catch up. Year 4, 5, they'll never catch up.
Let him find out who it was, they could be on.
Catching up, they'll never catch up. They'll never catch up, buddy bear. They'll never catch up. They'll never catch up. All right, so I'm actually gonna go take a little break. I'll be back in like 20 maybe. I'm gonna walk my dog and stuff. And then I'll be on at the time that I said I would be on the thing. So yeah, I'll just be quiet here for the next 20 minutes. Essentially I won't be here. So I'll be back in. I'll get 21 in for sure. I'll get that in before I go. I'll get that right now. Oh, I'll get that right now, gang. 3, 6, 9, damn good, fine. 12, 15, 18, 21, 22. You know I'm not. I don't do shit. Anyway, I say 22. I do 22. How you gonna do 21? Ain't gonna do 21, but all right, fam. I'll see you in a bit.